you're ready to talk about this one, buddy.
Oh,
Chargers beat the Dolphins
yeah.
23-17.
I wanted to write like a little song for you about Tua, land of hope and dreams. This train grabs Tua's tickets. This train, he's going to be the MVP. You ever hear Springsteen sing? It's one of the greatest songs of all time. This train carries Tua tickets. I mean, like, seriously, it all fizzled. I mean, I'd like to, I'm not Don Draper, okay? Obviously, I don't look like Don Draper. I'm not a marketing guy. I don't have a background in advertising, but I do have a suggestion. I've had a couple, right?
Yep.
I think anytime a team gets in the red zone on third down, there should be a graphic that comes up, and there should be the Coors Light 4-point play, so America knows that this is the most important play of the game. I've said that before. But the other one I'd like to offer is all these morons who think Tua is better than Herbert. I'd like to offer them a free eye exam at Pearl Vision Center because they're blind. And they should get it treated. They should get some form to help them because they're not seeing very clearly. There's got to be something wrong with their vision. It'd be the perfect. Justin Herbert would offer you. I just mention his name. You get a 35% discount on your next eye exam because it's not even fucking close. Okay, like it's almost bizarre. I mean, I didn't have the sound on last night. I didn't have it on. I wasn't going to listen to it. I've been alone for a while, so I don't have. Millie's on the West Coast, so I don't have to deal with the sound. So I don't know what the rhetoric was, but I know Pro Football Focus, I know they have him rated high. They've been behind the MVP campaign. But I do know this, Femi.
Mm-hmm.
I do know this. When all of them on the show before the game, I saw it all. I didn't hear the verbiage. But when they all predicted Miami to win in a rout, Miami's going to win. I text my man Bill Berman, and I said, this is the time to bet the Chargers. Because this is the time. I mean, it really is. It's the perfect time to bet. I mean, Coach Dungy's 8-7 now, just picking the winner of the game.
Yeah, that's not great.
Think about that.
No, we're not even picking
I love Coach Dungy. I mean, he's a wonderful man. He's a great. He's 8-7, just picking the outcome of the game. and I mean, the guy that didn't get the Stanford job. I mean, that he's back smiling again. Like, I mean, again, I didn't listen to the sound, but once that was unanimous, that should have just told you to go to your local bookmaker and just bet as much as you want to bet.
For the record, Tua's stat line, I don't know if he was putting out a tour date or something, but 10 of 28, 145 and a touchdown. At one point last night, Michael, he was 3 of 17, and they were just continuing to throw in the middle of the field. The Chargers were clogging it up there. Was there anything that you saw that was just a reminder, or was it something that the Chargers were doing defensively that prevented the Dolphins from having any sort of success on offense?
Well, they made him feel a little uncomfortable. Not that they had great pass rush, but they made him panic a little bit, and he doesn't play well fast. He plays really well when he has time to set his feet and throw it. And they were disruptive in the route, and they packed the middle of the field. I mean, they dared him to throw the ball on the outside, and they know he was going to throw it up there, and it was going to, it would hang in the air. I mean, the guy does not have a powerful arm, and he can't drive the ball. I mean, I don't know why we're making this to be something it's not. Tyreek Hill is the best player on their team. It's not even close, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, if it wasn't for if you took Tyreek Hill off that team, where are they going? Right? So, like, I don't know. You got to pack the middle of the field, and the weather was fine. I mean, it was indoors, so you would thought he would have driven the ball. But there's no driving of the football. And, to me, he's accurate short. It's when you make him have to throw it down the field. Some of those throws down the field were out of bounds, Femi. I mean, like this whole notion he was going to be the MVP. He's the leading vote getter in the Pro Bowl. I mean, you're talking about one of the great marketing campaigns of all time. I mean, you really are. You can't deny his numbers. I put him in the top 5 because of his numbers against some bad defenses. But I've kept saying all along, Femi, that once he plays against a good defense and a good defensive coach, that they'll make it hard for him, like Pittsburgh did, like Buffalo did, like New England did. And Buffalo will do it again this week because I checked the weather report before I came on today.
Yeah.
It's going to be 32, windy, and snow in Buffalo Saturday night. How do you think that's going to work out?
It's not going to go well. it's going to be a sloppy one. That's a massive game, though, for the Dolphins as well, who have lost back-to-back games on the West Coast.
What did you do with the ticket?
I don't have the ticket doesn't
what
exist.
What did you do with the ticket?
The ticket
Where
doesn't
is
exist.
it?
I was searching. I was like, did I bet this? Like, where did this notion come from where I had a Tua MVP ticket? And I never did. I missed out on the party. And early on in the season, I was a little bummed that I didn't have a ticket, but I never purchased a ticket.
It is. Okay.
I never purchased one.
Maybe that's what I misunderstood. That because you're the Bob Barker of betting. You're the Price is Right. I mean, you want to get the price. I mean, you are.
It's all about the price.
I don't know if you have all those pretty models around you, but you are really Bob Barker. You want to get the prices right. There's no doubt.
You got to get a little crazy. If you want to win in betting, you got to take a couple of long shots. But I did not get a Tua ticket. That whole train, when they traded for Tyreek Hill, that train left the station, and I wasn't able to get anything down on a good price. So no ticket for me, and I'm glad I don't have one because I think Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, they once sing a song called Free Fallin'. I think that's where those odds are going for Tua for the MVP. On the other sideline, though, Michael, Justin Herbert, I mean, he just reminded everybody how good of a quarterback he really is. 39-51, 367, and a touchdown. And I don't even think the stat line does it justice of just how good he was last night.
Well, I think when he has Mike Williams, I mean, and I've said this all along, Mike Williams is really the straw that stirs the drink. Keenan Allen is great, right? Keenan Allen averaged 7.7 a catch, but Keenan Allen converts third downs. So there's a place for him, and he's very reliable, and he's able to make plays. But the guy who creates the most problems is Mike Williams. And because of his ability to get down the field and make plays, you've got to be good at corner. This is why they give the Chiefs trouble, because these two receivers can win on the outside, and Herbert can deliver the football. I mean, he's tremendous. You know, the fact he threw it 51 times when they had the lead most of the game is somewhat remarkable, right? And I've said this all along about the Chargers. If they had a bigger back to go along with Eckler. Now, I mean, look, give the Chargers credit here, right? And I've been hard on them a lot, but they're playing with a lot of backup linemen. I don't even know who that right tackle was. Like, that's a backup right tackle. The left tackle is the backup left tackle. I mean, the line's not great. He got sacked 4 times in the game. You know, I'm not sure it was a rough in the passer call. Of course, Scott Novak, he can't wait to make everybody know he's refereeing the game.
Yeah, that was atrocious.
I mean, that's just unbelievable. But anyway, this kid's so great, and yet it's a one-score game. I mean, if Staley takes the points, I mean, how many times are we going to keep saying this? If he just takes the points, he's going to put the game away. But, he doesn't. He keeps turning them down, and they got the one to me, like the one when he went for it at the end of the half, I was okay with that because it was like, all right, we're going to get the ball to start the half. We're here at the one. We might as well cash this bad boy in it because once we're there, let's just see if we could do it. I was scared about the play call, but Eckler was tremendous and got the ball in the end zone. But look, I mean, Herbert's sensational. He's 22-23 as a starter. He's got 21 career 300 passing yard days. He's got 2 more at 290. I don't know what more the guy can do. And when he has those 2 receivers, which he hasn't had most of the season, they're really hard to stop.
You put Justin Herbert in the blue chips category this summer when we had the red chip, blue chip series for the QBs. And I think for most people, they want to see Herbert get to that next step of the playoffs. Right now, the Chargers are the 7 seed in the AFC. Do you think this team will ultimately reach the postseason? And could they be dangerous if they get there?
No, I don't think so, because I think the strategy that Mike McDaniel employed against them was the wrong one. You got to run the ball on this team, right? Mm-hmm. You got to really, like most people. I mean, look, the Raiders beat them a week ago, and they ran the football on them. You can't go into the game and have 19. I mean, this is a one-possession game for most of the game, and they only have 19 carries. Now, they didn't have the ball a lot, granted, but when you're putting the ball in Tua's hands as opposed to trying to control the game, I think they should have done a better job of running the football, keeping Herbert off the field, helping their defense out a little bit. I mean, they punted 7 times in the game, Femi. Couldn't convert a third down. Did you see the third down numbers for your boy? I mean,
3 of 11.
3 of 11 on third down. They had 219 yards. They get the biggest, that fumble returned by Tyreek Hill. I mean, everybody, nobody stops Miami. Wait a minute. New England held them down. I think they scored 10 points against New England. Their defense lined them up the defense scored 7 and got them a field goal. Buffalo, the ball was spotted. Pittsburgh they scored 16 against Pittsburgh. He almost threw 4 interceptions in that game. He didn't have one. Like this notion that that it's just a runaway train the way it goes on this thing about how great he is. When nobody watches the tape, he's throwing to wide open receivers. I mean, there was the one throw to start the second half, I think it was, where he threw it to Tyreek Hill was wide open. And Tyreek Hill didn't even know where the ball was. You remember that play down the field?
Yeah, it looked like Tyreek had maybe lost it in the lights, or I'm not sure what happened, but it was not a good throw there. And to your point, the Dolphins offense, 219 yards of total offense against this Chargers defense that has been pretty bad. Doesn't bode well for Miami down the stretch here, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this Chargers team. A lot of people want to buy in because you see Herbert play and you want to get excited about it, but on the other side of the ball, it's a little problematic, and we'll see that when they face Tennessee this week.
When you play them with Mike Williams, you got to take Mike Williams out of the game, and you got to encourage them. You can't give up big plays. You cannot allow them to have the chunk yards, and they're not going to run the ball. They're not good enough to run the ball to beat you. They weren't good enough to run the ball against the Raiders to beat you. So, but when Mike Williams is on the field, it's a whole different story. And he becomes a real problem. But you can't allow the chunk plays. You can't allow them to make a play down the field. And that's where they become dangerous. When they play the Chiefs again, they'll give the Chiefs trouble because Herbert can match him. Herbert can match him. Now, Tennessee, they have Tennessee coming in this week, right? One thing we've learned about Tennessee over the last couple of weeks, David Long's on IR. That's really a significant injury for Tennessee. That really hurts them. But what we saw Philly do to Tennessee is the same thing Jacksonville did. Don't try to run this thing, throw it. It sets up really well for Chargers to play Tennessee. However, but you and I both know Tennessee will come in there and run the football on them.
Thanks for watching the GM Shuffle with Michael Lombardi. And for more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to VSiN Live and the GM Shuffle podcast with Michael Lombardi, presented by DraftKings and VSiN, wherever you get your podcasts.